Lots of political intrigue here at Queen's Park after reports Doug Ford's chief of staff ordered Patrick Brown's former chief of staff be fired from his new job at Ontario Power Generation, which is a Crown corporation. And it could cost taxpayers up to $500,000. Ali Kanvelshi was Patrick Brown's top staffer and a longtime Conservative. He also worked for Stephen Harper. Just as he was starting his new job at Crown Corporation Ontario Power Generation as VP of Corporate Affairs, he was terminated, with his exit still being negotiated. The call to end his job reportedly came from Dean French, a longtime Ford friend and the most powerful person at Queen's Park other than the Premier. Sources say Doug Ford is angry at both Patrick Brown and Ali Kanvelshi because they didn't want him to run as an MPP when Brown was the PC leader. The opposition is accusing Doug Ford of settling a political grudge.
What we're looking at here is possibly another one of those vendettas that we see from the Premier and his office. And so we're not entirely sure exactly what is happening. But again, I think the people of Ontario want to know, why someone is going to be receiving the severance package that they are and who gave the indication to make that.
Doug Ford did not answer questions about this in the legislature today. His Energy Minister, Greg Rickford, answered every question the same way.
If there was an intervention like this, it would be inappropriate, right?
Well, OPG makes those staffing decisions, not us.
Right.
OPG is responsible for their own staffing
but
decisions.
But are they not under
leave it
pressure
to them.
a minute?
OPG makes their own staffing decisions. I can't answer that. Well, OPG is responsible for their own staffing decisions, so that would be.
What's the severance package for Ali Kanvelshi?
I have no idea.
So could it be up to $500,000?
They make their own staffing decisions.
Was the call made by Dean French?
Staffing decisions are made by OPG, not by us.
The question is, was the call made?
Thank you.
Where are you running away? What's your question?
The president of OPG and CEO of OPG, Jeffrey Lyash, came here to Queen's Park today, and it was tough getting answers from him, too. Did Dean French make a phone call to anyone at OPG telling them to fire Ali Kanvelshi?
I just really don't talk about personnel matters. I just make it a policy, and it's the company's policy, not to talk about personnel matters. You can understand that, I hope.
We can understand that, but not if there was political pressure from Queen's Park to contribute to the decision.
Personnel decisions as a CEO are my decisions, and so I take them very seriously, and I take them one at a time.
So again, then, did anybody call you? Did Dean French call you to influence your decision?
I've never spoken to Mr. French.
Now, the real issue for Doug Ford here is the optics look really bad. It looks like a political grudge match and a costly one for taxpayers. And don't forget, Doug Ford squashed Patrick Brown's hopes to reinvent himself politically when he killed the position of chair of Peel Region, which Patrick Brown had hoped to run for in the last municipal elections. Instead, he ran for mayor of Brampton and won. This story is far from over. It's never been more fascinating in Ontario politics.